Dr. Inch here, welcome back to my kitchen. Okay, so today what we're going to look at is convection. And if you remember, convection is the transfer of thermal energy in a fluid, so in a liquid or in a gas. We're going to look at it in a fluid, so in water. So we've got two different temperatures of water, a cold water and a warm water. If you remember, the water that is warm is less dense than the water that is cold. So warm water rises, cold water will sink, effectively floating on each other. So we're actually going to demonstrate that, and you can try this one at home as well. So all we've got is 2 bottles of water. You can see this one. This one is nice and cold. It's been in the freezer for about 20 minutes. And we've got one that is pretty warm. Okay, it's not quite as hot as the water goes in the tap, but not far off. I've got a tray, just in case I make a mess. I've got a bit of card, this is my magic trick. And I've got some food colouring. Because if the colours of the water are not different, how on earth are we going to see what happens? So, let's try, first of all, let us actually give this water some colour. Okay, so if you remember diffusion, that is all that's happening there. We have a nice bit of red water. Okay, so all we're going to do, let's take the lids off. And when we start to mix them, we're going to cover them up. So what we do, bit of card over the top, turn it upside down. Oh, a little bit of a mess. And then we're going to put it on top of each other, and we're going to remove the card. Okay. So there we go. If we zoom in on that, let's put our bit of paper behind. How cool is that? The warm water is at the top, the cold water is at the bottom. There is no movement of the water at all. So the cold water is denser, so it stays there. The warm water is less dense, so it's on the top. Okay, what I'll do, I will pause the video and I will come back to you once I've separated these off. Okay, right, that was obviously potentially quite a messy bit. Thankfully there wasn't a mess. So I've now got my 2 bottles again. We've got the cold water here, the red one. We've got the warm water here now. Okay, so this time what we're going to do, we're going to have the warm water on the bottom. So the warm water is less dense than the cold water. So exactly the same again. Let's get them over each other. Okay, and when we take this away, if we zoom in now, we can actually see the convection currents. The warm water is sinking. The cold water is rising. So if we look on the top layer, you can actually see the cold water that has no food dye in it rising, and you can see the warm water at the bottom. Okay, I have made quite a difference in temperature, so there's probably about 40 degrees difference in temperature between the 2 waters. So we've got one at just about 0. The other one is probably in the region of 40 degrees centigrade. Yeah, but we can see the mixture there. So let's let that get into equilibrium. What I'd like you to try, what happens if there is a greater difference in temperature? What happens if there's less of a difference in temperature? Yeah, You can use different food colored dyes. That's going to get one consistent color all the way across. Take a few minutes, but that, in a nutshell, is convection. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you have fun trying it as well.